Buongiorno everyone, welcome back to Lineup Predictions. Welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV, where we will be predicting Newcastle United's lineup for the game on Sunday against Arsenal at St James's Park, 2 o'clock kickoff live on Sky Sports. We don't tend to do too bad against Arsenal at St James's. The Emirates, different story. We haven't won there since, I think, 2011. Andy Carroll header. At St James's, we do okay. We tend to get a decent point out of it, sometimes 3. The times we do lose, it's usually only by 1 goal. We very rarely get stuffed. Like, big 6-team Arsenal, are they going to put a stamper on little poor old Newcastle? I don't know. Probably not. I'm a little bit confident about this, to be honest. Arsenal's been in awful form lately. 1 win in the last 5 in the Premier League. Got beat last night in the Europa League semi-final against Unai Emery's Villarreal. Good evening. How does that taste? Thank you very much. So we've been in decent form as well. Like, we haven't been outstanding by any means, but we've been getting the points that are just creeping us away from that relegation zone, which has been huge. Massive points. I was going to say massive wins. I think even the draws feel like wins. The Liverpool and the Tottenham draws, huge. Beating top 4 West Ham, relegation rivals Burnley, beating them, getting the points against Tottenham and Liverpool. I think we're feeling good. I feel quite good. I feel quite confident. And against a team that is in relatively poor form in Arsenal, I feel like we can get something. If we could get something off Liverpool, if we could get something off Tottenham, I don't see why not. They had Lacazette, who has an injury doubt. Him and Kieran Tierney both missed out on the game at Villarreal last night. Aubameyang was benched, came on late on for about a 5-minute spell, couldn't change the game, still got beat in the first leg, still got the second leg to come, but I feel a little bit confident going into this game. Fingers crossed we can carry on picking them points up. Whether it's 1, great. I'd take a point off Arsenal. If we can get 3 at home, fantastic. We'll have a look at our team news, and the biggest news probably is Matt Ritchie. However, he's only a slight doubt. Brucey says he's got a calf injury that he's carrying, but he thinks he's going to be okay. So that's probably the big one to look out for, because Matt Ritchie's been so influential since coming back into the team. He's been the captain that we've been missing since Lascelles has been out. Carries the team. He's passion and enthusiasm. Everybody fucking loves Matt Ritchie. Like, the way he's been carrying himself and the team over the past few weeks has been amazing. So it'll be a shame if Matt Ritchie's out, especially against a team like Arsenal. If they're going to be without their left back in Kieran Tierney, it's a big opportunity that we might be lacking somewhat if Matt Ritchie isn't a part of the team. But we've got young Jamal Lewis on the bench anyway, so we'll see how that goes. But Brucey says he thinks he's going to be okay, so we'll see about that one. Carl Darlow and Ryan Fraser have been out for the past few weeks of injuries. Brucey says that they've had operations, the pair of them. They've had operations and they're recovering quite well. Last week, the news was that it could be about 3 weeks at least, potentially to the rest of the season. So 1 week down, Brucey says they should be back in a couple of weeks, hopefully. But they are doing well. Fabian Schär's back now, and he wants to be involved. He's had a 45-minute run out for the under-23s. I think it was Monday. Came through that unscathed. Says he's been training really, really well, and he might be a part of the squad, but they still need to take it careful. He hasn't played first-team football in 11 weeks. So that's something to monitor, but we might see Schär back on the bench with Joe Willock being out, obviously facing his parent club. Our goal scorer, our hero, our saviour, isn't going to be a part of this squad, which could be a huge, huge loss. He's been responsible for, 5 of the points? Yeah. Equaliser at Tottenham, equaliser at Liverpool, winner against West Ham. 5 points he's basically been responsible for. Late sub, coming on, kind of taking the place of Sean Longstaff, or one of them anyway. So yeah, he's going to be a big miss. So Fabian Schär might take his place on the bench. Callum Wilson, Bruce thinks is ready to start. Praise the fucking Lord. Hallelujah. Callum Wilson may get a start against Arsenal. Bruce says that they're just trying to get him back to full fitness. And especially with a hamstring injury, you've got to be careful with those. Just running can ruin a hamstring. Like, I think Bruce has been playing it really, really well. We've all been calling for the last 2-3 weeks for Wilson to be in the starting lineup. When the lineup's announced and he's still on the bench, we're like, oh, for fuck's sake, Brucey, how man, he's our goal scorer, best player. Get him in the starting lineup. And as much as I've agreed, I think we have done well with it. Giving him little run-outs, 20, 30 minutes at the end of games, just keeping an eye on it. But I think the focal point for Bruce was the goal that he didn't score against Liverpool the other day, last week, threw a ball from Saint-Maximin. He said the pace and desire to get onto it. I think that shows you that he has got that burst of pace back. He's been training for the last 3 weeks or so. I say a little run-outs, 20, 30 minutes for the past couple of weeks, come through, everything unscathed. So he should be back. He should be ready to get back into that starting lineup. And my God, we might need him. And of course, we're still without the long-term absentees that may be out for the rest of the season in Jamal Lascelles and Isaac Hayden. Time will tell whether they will be back by the end of the season. Might get them for the last game or two. But into the starting 11 then. And last week, I didn't bullshit you. I just put the starting 11 straight away because it was unchanged from the week before. I think this one, there will be a few changes. So I'll rush through it somewhat, but I'll still pick them off one by one. And go Martin Dubravka. Give him a little bit of criticism last week. Distribution poor. Some of his shots stopping poor. But the Liverpool game, geez, back with a bang. 22 shots, I think he faced. Dealt with them so well against a dangerous front four. Everyone's been banging on about Liverpool's front three for the past 2-3 years in Salah, Mane and Firmino. When you add Diego Jota into that mix as well. Frightening front four they've got. And we dealt with everything really well. I don't know if that's detriment to Dubravka's performance or them just not really having that shooting boots on, because particularly Salah and Mane a couple of times, if that was them of last season, I think they could have done us fucking 5-6-0 or something. Like the chances they had, some great chances, which you would have banked on them scoring them. So well done for Dubravka for keeping them out anyway and keeping us in the game forward to nick a point late on. The back three, that will remain unchanged, of course, as we haven't got Lascelles back and Shaw won't be fit enough to start. Like I say, he might get on the bench. So it's going to be Fernandes, Clark and Dummett. Clark had an absolute stinker against Liverpool. That was a fucking poor performance. So dodgy. Passing, awareness. It wasn't there for Kieran Clark. Wasn't his day. Usually he's reliable. Like, we're all big fans of Kieran Clark. Does his job. Quite unnoticed. I think he's a very underrated player in the Premier League, but that Liverpool performance done him no justice at all. If he wasn't to play, we'd have to change the formation, but I think things are working really well at the minute, so we will be sticking with the 5-2-3 formation it almost is. Maybe it's a 5-2-1-2, whatever it is, with Almiron in the hole. Yeah, unchanged for me. Clark deserves to still be in there with Fernandes and Dummett, and the wing backs of Jacob Murphy. Another great performance from him against Liverpool. He's rooted himself in that starting lineup as long as he stays fit, which leads me on to left wing back. And I'm going to tip Jamal Lewis to come back with Richie's injury being a doubt. Like, it's a calf injury, so you've got to still be careful with those. Bruce says he thinks he's going to be okay, but like I say about Callum Wilson, you don't really want to risk these injuries. Like, if Bruce thinks he's going to be okay, that means surely he's got to be fit enough to be on the bench at least. So that's maybe what I would do. I'd just put a precaution on Richie. I'd let him sit on the bench, give Jamal Lewis a chance. He's been sitting, waiting patiently for his turn. Obviously, Matt Ritchie's been absolutely bossing that position, so can't get into the team, Jamal Lewis, but I still want to see more of him. I think he's had a bit of a disappointing year, but I still see a player in him, and I want him to come good very, very much. As a wing back as well, he's great getting forward, got great energy on the left-hand side, decent balls in. But yeah, Richie will be a huge miss if he's not fit. So that's probably the big one to look out for me. Midfield too, that's going to be the same with John Joe Shelvey and Sean Longstaff. Unfortunately, obviously with Joe Willock being out, I would have loved to have thrown Joe Willock in there. Had he have been playing in this game, would he have started? Probably not. Who knows? He has been Brucey's super sub for the last few weeks. I think he's been deserving to start over the last couple of weeks, and he's just been coming on and delivering the goods late on. So obviously, with him being out, Matty, unfortunately, I don't want to start getting into Matty Longstaff because I might cry. I'm fucking foaming about the Matty Longstaff situation, but it's very unlikely he's going to be there. And with the only other centre mid being Jeff Hendrick, it's got to be them two, unfortunately. Neither one of them really pulls it out the bag for me, especially John Joe Shelby, supposedly being the captain. But I'm not going to go on a John Joe Shelby rant because people don't like it when he criticises John Joe Shelby like he's the fucking love child of the Northeast or something. Sean Longstaff, he's a Northeast boy. Everybody loves him. His performances over the last few weeks have been okay. Better than what they've been over the last 18 months or so, but still just missing a little bit of quality, attention to detail. Sometimes passing back a bit sloppy, getting caught in possession, stray passes. But that's been an improvement. So with nobody else to replace them, then them two has got to keep their spots as well. On the front three then, and Alan Saint-Maximin, as long as he's fit, which he should be. Brucey didn't say anything about him carrying any injuries. He usually gets a kick to the ankle, doesn't he? Fucking breaks my heart when Saint-Maximin gets a kick to the ankle, hobbling around the field for the first 20 minutes or something, or comes off the field either at full time or as a sub, limping like a motherfucker. But yeah, Saint-Maximin should be fit. Nothing wrong with him. Key player, clinical player, game changer. On his day, he can be. So we need him to run at Arsenal's defence because they've been a little bit shaky. Hasn't been the strongest defence all year. So yeah, Saint-Maximin, providing he's fit, 100% rooted in that starting 11. And on the other side, I'm going to make a change here. I'm going to drop Miggy Almiron for Joelinton, and I'll talk you through why. It's because Almiron, just work rate's been there. Like, you can't fault Almiron's work rate, but it just hasn't been impressing me lately. Like, I want him to get involved in the game more. I want him to have more of an impact. Last week against Liverpool, he struggled to beat a man, particularly on the right-hand side against Andy Robertson. For me, Andy Robertson's one of the best left-backs in the world. Don't get us wrong. He tried, but sometimes the end product's just not enough. He goes through flurries. He can either score goals and deliver assists, get involved in the game, show pace, beat a man, create chances for a month at a time. Then he'll have a month where he's just completely absent. And yeah, like he gets back, sticks in tackles, tries to win back possession and that, but it's just not enough for me. I just want to see a lot more of him. Whereas Joelinton, I feel like he's in good form lately. He's been in and out of it. Like, he's been playing as a striker mainly for most of, the last few weeks with Wilson being on the bench. And his confidence is there. You can see he's becoming a better player. He's getting more involved in the game. He's got a bit more confidence. Got 2 goals. Was it Burnley and Tottenham? Or was it West Ham? West Ham and Tottenham, sorry. Got a couple of goals in those games. Confidence is high. He's starting to run with the ball a bit more. A couple of times against Liverpool. Had a couple of chances, but we just know he's not a striker. That's why I don't want to see him as a number 9 if Wilson's going to be fit. He needs to be behind the striker or out wide. Maybe if you play Saint-Maximin up front with Joey in the 10 where Almiron's been, or like I know like Sky Sports that's been kind of putting Almiron as a central midfielder, but he hasn't really been playing there, has he? He's either been a number 10 or out wide. So that's where I'd much rather see Joelinton to support Callum Wilson, bring him back, get him in that starting lineup, have Joey build up the play, hold it off, link it up with Shelby, Sean Longstaff, Saint-Maximin being there on the left or right-hand side, or up front with him, or in the hole. Any one of them, I'm not even bothered where Joelinton and Saint-Maximin play, as long as Callum Wilson is the central figure, the number 9, the goal scorer. Get the balls into the box to him, and he will finish it, just as he did at Liverpool. But fuck VAR for doing us over. That's the starting 11 there. Then I'll run through the bench who we've got available. And with a few injuries, it hasn't really been too much of a difficult one. Mark Gillespie obviously coming in for Darlow, who's going to be out for another couple of weeks after an operation. Manquillo and Kraft. Shaw can come back and have a spot on the bench in place of Willock. Richie obviously dropped to the bench, whether if he might start, and that'll be Jamal Lewis. We'll only see about that one. Jeff Hendrick is the only midfield option with Matty Longstaff for another week being excluded. Almiron dropped to the bench with striking options of Dwight Gale and Andy Carroll. Thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure to drop the comments below. Give me your lineup prediction as well as a score prediction. I'm going to go with another 1-1. I think we can get a point out of this one. We're going to have to defend well if Aubameyang is back. I'm not sure whether he will be. Lacazette's a doubt. So, yeah, just go at it the way we have done the past few weeks. We've been doing well against the likes of Tottenham, West Ham, Liverpool. We've done well. We've held the defence well, got forward well. Midfield's been linking up play, getting forward, balls into the box, especially with the wing backs, Richie and Murphy. It's been a breath of fresh air. And against a struggling Arsenal team at home, especially if it was the Emirates, I'd probably tip it to lose 2-1. But I think confidence will be with we're at St James's. Even though the fans aren't there, that usually plays a big part of it. We can be a 12th man at St James's when we are in attendance, but I don't know. I just feel differently about this, and I will be more than happy with a point. However it comes, whether it's a 0-0 or 2-2, I'm not really that bothered. Just keep getting them points, chugging away. We're coming towards the end of the season now. Last few games, just keep getting them points on the board and move away from the bottom three. So thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure to come back on Sunday for all the match day content. Live watch along will be in session. I'll probably only be there at the start. You'll have to join Renty and a guest, depending on who that's going to be, with match reaction and player ratings to come. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel while you're here, and enjoy yourself.